And now President William Ruto is now urging parents to be mindful of the activities of the youth and desist from cheering them on to protest against the state in a bid to quell the surge of anti-government demonstrations. Ruto says police officers have no choice but to respond with force to protect people and property and will not hesitate to take action on protesters. But his critics are turning the screws further by accusing the head of state of dishonesty and blanket condemnation of the opposition. David Mudhoka is on the politics beat tonight.
President William Ruto's visit to AIC Bomani in Machakos was as much about faith as it was about politics and governance. Here, the president continued his onslaught on leaders allegedly inciting violence through youth protests. Ruto says police have a clear mandate.
The police are trained to deal with criminals. They are not trained in parenting. So, if you surrender your children to the police, what do you expect? Please. Every parent, including me, I take time to parent my children, and so must everybody. Sindio jameni? Yes.
At the heart of the protests are concerns about the economy, cost of living, and the general direction of the country, which many, a Kenyan, argue is on the wrong trajectory. Ruto, citing several projects and programs he says will fulfill the Kenya Kwanza dream, that 320,000 youth are currently employed under the affordable housing program and another 400,000 have secured job abroad, he says.
Unajua kwa muda mrefu tumekuwa tunakaa hapa average. Hapo average. We must stop being average. Yes, we must strive to be better and excellent. That is my mission. And I want to tell you, every promise I made, I intend to keep it in my term.
The head of state throwing a characteristic salvo at his detractors.
Kuna watu wengine walikuwa wanajaribu kubagua wa Kenya, nyinyi hamuna shares, nyinyi hamuna shares, nyinyi hamuna hii. Nikamwambia hapana. This government belongs to all Kenyans, and we are going to treat all Kenyans equally.
I put a comma, I say vote for me, comma, and hold me to account.
But former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i, now in opposition and eyeing the presidency in 2027, has fired back from Maryland in the United States, where he addressed Kenyans in the diaspora. Matiang'i has rejected the narrative that violence is the opposition's strategy.
I'm there, sometimes even criticizing us and saying, oh, it's the opposition that is sponsoring violence. And I tell them there is nobody in this world called opposition. People have names, say it is Fred Matiang'i and give the evidence for it. Because even that blanket and general condemnation is part of that laziness and that recklessness and escapist behavior, as it were.
Also in the United States is former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Hi bros. Hi sis. Hi cousins.
Who has accused his former boss of dishonesty.
Nimeona ile mtu yake ya soprano akisema at even lying requires some intelligence, some innovation, some creativity. Wewe soprano. That is very good. Ita bosi yako. He is a pathological liar. You tell him what you are telling us. Yeye ndiye mtu muongo zaidi katika dunia hii yote. The whole world is the biggest liar.
The sharp exchanges between President Ruto and his critics laying bare a simmering political landscape, signaling a fierce contest in 2027. David Mudhoka, NTV.